What's up, family? Welcome back to another lovely episode of the Dag Life podcast with this week's very special guest, a friendly face from early on a year ago, the lovely, incredible Miss Christine Menezes.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
She honors mine. It's been a year.
It has been. I remember sitting here, talking to you about this last year.
Mm-hmm.
My mind space was in such a different, I was in a different realm last year.
Do you remember what you said to me about kind of just seeing what was going to happen? We'll see what happens.
I do remember that.
Talk to me about how the last 12 months of real estate has gone for you.
Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, it's been such a train ride. I think I've been a train wreck too in between. Just because there's so much going on and prioritizing everything has been really difficult for me. But I honestly don't think that I could have done what I did in the last 12 months without the support I'm getting from this team, from all of y'all. One thing. So last year this time, let's just back it up, right, to 12 months ago. Last year this time, at the end of the first quarter, I was able to help one family. And I was so excited because it was like the first transaction for me for the year. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then what you always see what we see is our associates, goading us and pushing us and motivating us. And then things started to pick up. And I remember this one time in summer, there were 2 escrows going on at the same time. And I lost my mind. I was like, I can't do this. I actually cried at home because I couldn't do it. I had a meltdown. I was in Vegas. I had to call Allie to calm me down. She's like, don't, you're in Vegas. First of all, you need to calm down. You're going to be fine. Am I allowed to cuss?
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
She was like, you're in fucking Vegas. Why are you crying? I don't know what to do. And she calmed me down. She told me what to do. As always, I always say, Allie, SOS. And the minute I say that, she picks up the phone, she calls me, and she laughs because she knows it's not SOS. She just has to talk to me. Cool. And I'm fine. So that's the rapport I have with her. And I remember you saying something to me last year saying, I think you said, I've seen people do 7 or 8 over summer and I see you doing that. And I'm like, no, hell no. I wish I could. And then I don't know where the time went. I know I took 4 holidays because that's what I wanted to do. And I think that helped me a lot because I can't do this business for 6 months at a go and not take a break.
Yeah.
My old ass needs to do 2-3 months and I'll go hard and then I'll take a week off. I'll do another 2-3 months and then I need to reset. And I'm quite happy with that.
And it's perfect because everyone's got their own process. There's, when I got back from Spain last year on July 12th, I had Saturday, Sunday to myself to reset and get back to my psyche from the jet lag.
Yeah.
And then I went from Monday the 15th, I believe that was, Monday the 15th of July. I went 150 plus straight days of work. The only 2 days I took off were Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day. But everything I'm having a career year to start, and that's because of anything I did for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So, but that was my process, what I wanted to do. I didn't care. I didn't have a spouse to worry about. I didn't have kids. So I had nothing to worry about but myself, and everyone's got their process, but continue.
Yeah. So towards I think September, October last year, I looked at the trajectory of what I had done and I'm really hard on myself. I'm not somebody who's going to pat myself on the back. I don't recognize it from others. But when I do, it melts me like a big fucking baby. Right? So here comes November, and last year in November, I was like, okay, we're going to go on holiday and then we're going to have a Christmas party and everything. And I did not expect what was about to be. I just knew that I put my head down. I did my work as I was told and trained to do because I'm super coachable and I love being coached. There's this saying, which I just read somewhere recently, when you decide to walk on the shoulders of giants and be in those same rooms, you automatically become somebody just like them. And it's something that I will never forget because I've always chosen to be in these rooms, whether it's in a room with Sharon, whether it's in a room with Dean, whether it's in rooms with you guys. I've always wanted to do that. And I did that because I wanted it. And I wanted it because I wanted to get better. I wanted to be like you guys. I wanted to
be better than us.
I wanted to help as many people as I could. And I think one of the main things that I decided to do last year, which I had not done, was stop relying on myself, stop living in fear. Um, I dived deep into my faith, and it was a game changer after that. I was like, take the wheel.
Let go, and let God. Yeah, just put it out there, and honestly, the things we can control are far and few between from the opposite, right? There's a lot of things we can't control. The number one thing you can always control, though, is one, who you surround yourself with. Two, the energy, effort, work ethic that you put in. And three, just working on that mindset, right? Those are a few of the main things that really help you drive your life.
Absolutely.
And obviously, blocking out the noise and forgetting about the fear. Things are always going to come up. We can only control so much. But when you focus on controlling the things that you can, everything else works itself out.
Absolutely. And I've always had so much support from the house. Like my daughter, AJ, my gosh, even Marley, he sits with me so patiently when I'm on the phone. He's like a tail. Like he'll never, I don't know why I didn't get him here today. He will just follow me everywhere. And I'm like, I'm working, he's with me. And a lot of my work is at home too, if I'm not either out on showings or at the office. So the support I've had, I think has helped me, grow. Um, and when we had our Christmas party last year, it just changed me after that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I've never really won anything in my life. For me, that was a win.
It was huge.
It was a big win for
So let's talk about that so everyone understands what we're talking about.
Yeah, and you guys, nobody told me anything. Zoe was not real better than what.
Hey, you think I was expecting what Dean announced? No.
No.
We had someone else planned for that.
Yeah.
That I chose. So it took me by surprise too.
Yeah.
So it was. I don't like recognition and reward, and it comes from.
Right.
It comes from. Doesn't make me shy. I like you beat myself up a lot. I know I deserve my wins. I know I deserve all the things because of how hard I work.
Nice word is what you struggle with.
It's weird.
It seems
So back in high school, in my sophomore year of high school, we were in film study for football.
Oh.
And it was just after a preseason game.
okay.
And I made a great block. This starting linebacker on the other team, I cracked him. And I was 125 pounds. So coach, you couldn't really tell by the jersey, right? And coach was like, oh, who is that? And I was like, Pisano. He turned on the lights, stopped the film, and called me out in front of the entire class. And he was like, humble yourself before life humbles you.
Yeah.
And he also said, and here's one more thing, self-praise is no praise. And that has stuck with me since that day. I don't like when the spotlight is on me around certain things. And I definitely don't like being called out for wins and rewards and recognition, shit like that.
Yeah.
So I get it. And for me, it was definitely weird when that happened. But when we sat down and talked about all the awards for the holiday party, when the comeback kid award came up, not a single person had anyone else in mind out of the 10 of us on the Alps team besides you.
Oh my gosh.
And it was more than deserved. It was more than well earned, and it made perfect sense for you and nobody else for that award.
Yeah, that warms my heart. It really does.
It should. And the reason why I brought up our conversation a year ago when you first sat in that chair, the conversation with you was, I don't really know what's going to happen. We'll see how it goes. And what was the goal? I was like, this is the goal that you're hitting by the end of the year.
Yeah.
What was that number?
So, and it just makes my hair stand because I thought it was just all of those being silly. It's not possible. There's no way, But the goal you slapped on me was 10. And at that point, I had just done 2 transactions. And
this was March 2024, about a year ago, right?
Yeah.
When we first sent that.
Literally around the same time. I think I was starting to get it to my second transaction, but I wasn't there yet. So I only just done 1 transaction. Here you are telling me these big goals of how I have to do 10. And I'm like, it wasn't, you have to, you're going to do 10. And I'm like,
you're like, I think I'll do 6 or 7 through the rest of the year. I was like, no, you're
yeah, because I just thought, okay, I can push myself, but 10, oh my gosh. And when I did do that, I did shock myself. And then, and AJ was like, you're really, he's always been my biggest supporter. And he's really been encouraging and everything. He's like, you're really crushing it. And that's where I struggle, right? My prioritization with home, the duties that I have to do at home, which I'm super particular about, and then juggling that with work, which I find really hard. Once I'm zoned into work, nobody can take me away from it. And people that know me really well enough will say that, Christine, you're a workaholic. You need to work on that.
Get out an off switch.
Yeah. And
I learned that the hard way.
that's what I struggle with, right? And she even said it to me the other day. She's like, girl, you've been going hard. I was like, yeah, I know I need a break again. But I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. So when the Christmas party comes and you guys, so amazing. You give me, I remember when you guys said, that this award goes to blah, 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 comeback kid, Christine Menezes. And I'm like, oh my God, everybody screws up my family name. It's Menezes, that's Menezes. And AJ, and I was still eating. I was sitting at a table, I was eating with him, and he looked at me, he's like, babe, that's you. I said, huh? Because I did not hear it. I was eating and I wasn't obviously expecting it. And it made me want to cry. I'm like, nope, I have a lot of makeup on. I'm not going to cry. I look really good. I'm not going to look good with mascara dripping on my face. Oh my God.
So good.
And it's just the love and the support, right? I say support all the time because honestly, I say this to everyone. I could have never done this without each and every one of you. Like, I knock on all your doors for so many different reasons with anything to do with the transactional flow or how to talk to a client. Or, like, my mind is different. I'm very amiable and very expressive, and I love on my clients big time. My nurture with them is solid. Like, they love me. I love them. I think where I struggle is with the people I don't know, like, online and stuff like that. And you'll see that in my numbers. But once that award was won, I think something just changed my mind when the new year started.
It's always split.
Absolutely.
And this year you've been on an absolute tear.
The confidence that grew in me. And I remember Dean was so sweet to give me his time. I was like, dude, I need to sit with you. How do I grow? How do I scale? How do I elevate? And he was so kind. He gave me his time. And the one thing I will always take away from that is everything you're telling me, Christine, it's all in here. The fear that you have is in your mind, created by you and nobody else. After I finished my session with him, I went back home. I reflected on it. I prayed about it. And then I realized that he's so right. Like, if I could give 0 fucks about anything and everything.
Sorry, if you could give what? Say those.
0 fucks
Absolute 0 fucks.
about anything and everyone. Like, I don't care what people have to say about her anymore. To me anymore. I'm just here to help my clients. I'm here to be with my team and grow together as a family, as a bigger team. Things just started to change. The wheels were in motion mentally, physically. I was go, go, go. And I am so proud of myself. I'm going to say it. I'm going to own it. I'm going to take it because I deserve it. I first quarter down, 4 closed.
4 closed for Q1.
2 in escrow,
10
close. And hopefully 1 more offer going out soon.
So what I'm hearing is in the first 4 months of the year, you're going to be at 6 closed transactions. And you did 10 all of last year. And what's your goal for this year?
Well, see, that's still up in the air. Not because I was slapped with a 20, and then someone said 17, and then someone said 15. So I'll just stay with 15.
So what you're saying is I'm going to have to do this again.
Yes, so you're going to have number this again.
So the number is 20.
And I never focused on the number. And you said just to me, Christine, screw the number. Don't just do your work.
Just do you.
Don't forget about the 20, the 15, the 17. And that's what I want to do. So my personal goal, I break them up, right? I can't have a long-term goal. So I'm like, okay,
90 days at a time.
By the end of June, this is where I want to be. And how do I get myself there? I don't know, but I'm going to try it and I'm going to push myself.
You do know it's consistently doing the same stuff you've been doing at a higher level. Yeah. And it's compounding on top of that. But I want to go back to having 0 fucks. I think you know me enough by now.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't care less about what anybody in the world thinks about me.
Yeah.
Is it nice to be loved and admired and looked up to? And of course, I want to portray myself as a good person and a role model. But when it comes to the other things, the things that people can't control about us, if you move every single day with the mindset and the idea that what people think and say about you has nothing to do with you and it's none of your business, you cannot fail. You cannot lose, and you cannot let anybody knock you off course of where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, I was forced to grow up at a younger age. I wouldn't change a thing about it because it allowed me to understand that everything that I want, it's funny, I made a post about this today. Everything that I wanted in life has always been 100% on me, and it always will be. And that'll never change. People's opinions, people's thoughts, people's words, people's feelings about me, they're not paying my bills.
Yeah.
They're not booking me trips to Croatia or Spain.
Yeah.
They're not helping me live the life I want to live.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the level of success and happiness that I'm going to get to.
Absolutely.
All that is internal. So when it comes to the fear of the outside world and what people think or say about us, it is a projection of who they are and its level of their character. It's by no means an indication of who we are as people.
Absolutely.
And as soon as we turn off that blinder of not worrying about other people, life becomes so much more peaceful.
Yeah.
And there's so much more opportunity and gratitude that comes with that.
Good.
And that's what I learned a long time ago.
Yeah. And another thing, when you talk about gratitude and peace that comes with it, that's another thing I started last year. Just writing out my gratitudes of I wins every day. I used to always want to do it, and I never did it on a regular basis. But I kept getting over, like I'd miss a couple of days, then go back to this.
Pause for a second, just because we're at the jet. Jet's going to be flying a little bit this day. Only just bring up volume a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little.
Okay. So one of the other things that I was that I want to bring up is what you touched on just now about having gratitude and the peace that we get with it. That's something that I started as well last year. And I never used to do that before, but it gives me such joy. And the more I kept doing it, the more regular I got with it. And I cannot start my day without two things. I start my day with gratitude in my journaling, and I end it with that too. Well, not gratitude journaling, but with God.
Right.
And I don't know if you've ever heard this saying before, practice makes permanent. I kept doing it over and over again until it became a permanent thing. And now I implement that in my business. The more I do it, the more reps I have, the better I get, the more confident I get. I couldn't stand up there and talk a year ago. As much as you would make me stand up there and do role plays, I was like, I'd fumble, like I wouldn't get my words. And it would embarrass me. I would feel so shy about it. I get angry after I left in the car, like, what's wrong with you, you stupid? And now it's like, whatever, and practice makes perfect. That's why we keep coming to the role plays all the time.
It's funny that you said that, the last one, right? The practice makes permanent 100%, right? It's when it comes to building habits or routines, like the consistency is that every day since July 26, 2022, I had the very first thing I do every single day is make my bed, pray, journal. For now over 2.5 years. Things happened in my life that got me into, I had to shift my mindset, right? A lot of bad things have happened, but it's one of those things where even just so small, minute things in the morning have helped me start my day on a positive note.
Yeah.
And practice does not make perfect. We can all grow, always, no matter who you are, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what course of life or what season of life you're at. Practice makes progress.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's one small step for one great distance every single step of the time. And you've gone leaps and bounds of distances in the last year. And it's because of those compounded movements you've done on a daily basis, the practice, the repetitions, the role play, the effort, the calls, door knocking, the open, all of it is brought you to the great distance of those 10 deals in the first year, where now you are going to double that this year. It's just a matter of what that daily practice effort and elevating that level looks like to you on a daily basis. Which you
It's scary though.
of course it is.
I won't lie, it's super scary because it's like, oh my gosh, if that actually happens this year, I better get my systems down because that's going to be my next focus.
Of course.
And I remember again what Dean and Apra always said, forget about SOPs at this stage. Get your clients, work with them, close them, move on to the next. And then once you get that, you can start with your SOPs and start establishing that. The last Money Making Mondays that we had with Fabio and Ali, absolutely amazing. I loved all the systems that Fabio shared with us. Ali shared her structure too, but it was a completely different SOP for her as it is for Fabio. Fabio is meticulous, right? He's got it nailed down. And I was like, Trello, what? What's Trello? What Trello? I have no idea what Trello is.
And that's the thing, right? Everyone has their own process of their own sustainability business flow. That is one of the beautiful things about real estate. You can build a sustainable business in multiple ways.
Yeah.
You just have to have a way of doing so without being the transactional realtor.
Yep.
Which, for the most part last year was just a matter of building that clientele list in the base.
Absolutely.
And now you're at a point where the systems and processes are going to take you to that next level. So what are some of your focus areas this year to compound on top of what you did last year?
That's a great question. So I think the changes that I'm implementing this year is having more, so let's talk about the buy side, right? Having more in-depth conversations or videos that are generic to my client is sent to them at every stage. Like, okay, now that your earnest money deposit has been received by escrow, this is what's going to happen. Please, can you watch this 15-second video? And then I follow up with an email so that it's always in front of them and they know what to expect. And then I preempt the next step so that, oh, yeah, that's what she talked about in her video. Also, it's like 2 touches, a face, which is most important, even though they know who I am, but an email as well, which is standard to what everybody does. And there's always texting, depending on which form of communication they prefer.
So a lot of it has to do with more so controlling every step of the way
Yes.
and obviously the communication to clients.
Yes, because what I can't control are going to be the results back from, say, an inspection report and everything. So to prep their minds and in advance and say, hey, sellers don't have to do anything. But what we can do and control from our side is A, B, and C.
Right.
And then wait and see what we can buy. Because essentially it's a game of ping pong, right? You throw something there to the seller side and see what they're willing to buy. There's back to us. I'm going through it now, actually.
Yeah.
But I'm calm. I'm okay about it.
Because you've done it multiple times,
Yeah.
right? You know,
Well, last year, this time, I will be crying and freaking out. Louis, Ellie, help me.
it's so good. It's so good, and I'm so proud of you with how far it's come. Right? It's definitely cool to see, and with change comes challenges. What have been some of the challenges with all the changes?
So I think some of the challenges that I face till today, it's gotten better from last year, but I think some of the challenges I face, I think they're more administrative stuff than people stuff because I'd like to think I'm really good with people. And whether I'm dealing with a listing agent or with a client or a potential client or just a stranger, I'm good with that.
Right.
I don't find that challenging per se, except it is an online date. But I think some of the administrative processes, like there's certain things, and I've had this last year with contracts, it's much better now. I don't really understand some of them. That's when I hit on Erica or Kim's door or just anyone in ops, any of you guys, mentors. Like, what does this mean? I don't understand. And they keep changing stuff all the time. That's a big challenge for me.
And that's always there's always gonna be something, right? There's gonna be. I was just going through my first commercial sale.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it was new, right? There's a lot of different moving parts, a lot of different factors.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be no matter what season of real estate or career you're at, there's always gonna be something new. So
I feel like it's a daily education.
for sure.
You learn something new from somebody or something that's gone on in a transaction which you never knew before. But there's also a personal struggle, and my personal struggle, as I mentioned before, was having priorities in place, like knowing when to switch off and knowing when to wind down. And it's okay to get that book and read it at 7 o'clock in the evening. It's okay to have that glass of wine. You've earned it.
So how do you manage that? And because I love that because this is something I wanted to segue into. How do you manage that and really focus on that, especially when you're not in work mode or when you try not to be in work?
I think my body just automatically talks to me, and we know our bodies, right? And our bodies will give us signals. So at a certain point in the evening, I swear this happens all the time. My body will just not want to work or function mit, and it will give me a signal. It'll give me a sign. So at that point, I make sure I feed the dogs and take them out for a walk, and that's what I start doing to wind down. I try to take them on 3 walks a day, but if I've got a busy day of showings, it's just 2 walks, morning and night. Once I take them on a walk and I come back home, it's still daylight. I'll do a little bit of work on the laptop, but I try not to do a lot outside in terms of showings and stuff unless it's absolutely vital. And then I just kind of sit down and relax. I'll sit outside in our garden, play with the dogs, or just listen to some music. It helps me.
I love that. So it's more so just being in tune with like the mental switch of knowing, okay,
Yeah.
now it's time to rest.
Yeah.
That's
And
huge
it really does help me because it recharges my mind for what's about to happen the next day.
for sure. I definitely learned the hard way to have an off switch.
Yeah.
It had to do, it's part of my last relationship that became a problem and just part of like my everyday life. So I get it. I know it's challenging. I've always preferred to move at 100 miles an hour, nonstop. And one of the hard truths and lessons that I had to learn the hard way was if you don't stop, your body's going to stop you.
Yeah.
Or other factors are going to happen or other areas of your life are going to be impacted. And so commend you for obviously realizing that and working on that.
Yeah.
What are, to kind of flip it on the positive side, what are some things you're most excited about this year?
Oh gosh. I'm excited about the holidays that I want to take. I'm hoping that one will be an international trip. No, I still have to kind of plan that and randomly either Spain or Italy. I'm too many people go to Spain and Italy that I know of, and it's making me jealous. So I want to go. And then I do want to take a couple of local trips, and one of them I just want it to be a me trip. Well, that's a little book trip. Like, you take rain for the sake, and I know about city. Oh, I'm going. I'm going. I see. I may take Marley, my books, and just go. Like, I love that. Just kind of be on my own and just be in nature or surrounded by wildlife. That's my thing, right? I love animals so much. Um, I'm looking forward to that on a personal front. I'm looking forward to bring my mom back here from India. She isn't doing too well health wise. And she had a bad fall, and she's she's getting up there. So it's taking her time to get better, but we're monitoring her progress. And the minute she's okay, gotta earn that money and get mama down in business class so she has some space to sit and not damage her back anymore.
Yeah.
So once the doctor gives me that thumbs up, I'll bring her back, hopefully this summer or fall. I'm really looking forward to that because I want to spend as much time with her as I can. She never lived a life that I've lived. She had to, she was the oldest of four siblings, and she had to quit school so she could get into work to help her mom and dad with bills in the house. Um,
So all this always does.
the oldest, and she's not as educated as the others. So the younger sisters, my two aunts, moved and got to the United States at a very young age. She's always lived in India or in the Middle East, and that's where she met my dad. But she's had a hard life. She struggled. But my dad and her, God bless them both, gave me the best life ever. My brother always says you're a spoiled little shit with them. I don't think I was, but maybe, I don't know. But I owe her, right? I owe them, mom and dad. May his soul rest in peace. But he would want me to take care of her. He would want me to show her a good time because she loves being here, as cold as she feels.
I love that.
Looking forward to that.
So excited.
And I'm looking forward to growth. Every time I'm in this office, I feel like I see a new person. I'm looking forward to a bigger office. I think we're going to need another office the way we're growing. Um,
Well, we got 7 years in this one,
oh, we should. What the hell?
but we're fine. So yeah.
Well, I think we're doing great. I love the people that are on our team. I love the new people that are joining us. I think it's a culture, man. It's a culture vibe that we have going on.
It's different.
It is.
Tag life is different.
It really is. I'm looking forward to winning more offers from my clients. Can't wait.
Oh yeah.
Looking to representing more sellers who want to put their house on the market. Trying to work on that too. But I'm just looking forward to a different experience this year than I had last year.
Because you're not starting from scratch. You're starting with experience under your belt now.
No.
I love it.
My husband, he was like, babe, we should maybe move to Texas. I'm like, you can go on your own. I am staying here.
See you, buddy.
He's like, why? You can do real estate there. I was like, bye. Bye.
Yeah, you can do real estate anywhere, but you can't live a lifestyle like San Diego anywhere
I
else.
was like, tell me that there's another lifestyle like San Diego. I was like, you spoiled me. This is my first port of entry. I'm not going.
Yeah, dude, it's your fault, bro.
It's not my fault. It's your fault. I was like, you can go.
So funny.
Just leave me with Marley.
So close. I'm so proud of where you're at now, how much you've grown and the journey that
Thank
you've had. And there's obviously a lot has happened in the year, going on a year and a half since you've been with the team, and so on and so forth. A lot to look forward to. What is and this could be anything, could be life, could be real estate, really, could be what family, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What is the worst piece of advice you've been given?
The worst piece of advice I was ever given, and this is from a social media perspective, because it's one of the things I wanted to focus on, and I struggle with time, so that's taken a back seat. So one of the things that somebody told me was like, you should spend more time seeing what other people do on social media and try to do something different. And for me, that doesn't work.
Right.
Because why do something different and reinvent the wheel when it's working for other people this way? Just make it your own.
Correct.
Do the same thing that's working for all these people, but just make it your own. You don't have to do a completely different setup or scenario, or do something that's brand new, because I don't even know how I could think of something brand new and come up with something brand new. I have an idea of what I want to do with social media. Dabbled with the whole, should I start a YouTube channel? I'm like, no, my gosh, I don't have time for social media. Where am I going to have time for YouTube? And then that's really focusing on doing more like online leads.
Right.
And I don't know if I'm at that stage yet. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, just obviously have your own process and make it you. right? Just be as authentic and vulnerable as possible.
Yeah.
That will win 100% of the time. The content, obviously, with the content I put out, the pieces of product that I put out that always gets the most engagement is always the most authentic on the best, right? Not the fancy, shiny stuff, like the highlight reel stuff. It's always me face to the camera, just speaking my mind.
Absolutely.
And whatever that looks like for you, everyone's going to love you. We already do, however you come across on social, just make it you and it'll work out.
Yep.
Last question. Best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Wow. The best piece of advice would come from my dad. He's always drilled this into my head. He's like, you made your own bed and now you've got to lay in it. And I will never forget what he said, because this goes back to when I was in my early 20s and found myself becoming a mom on my own. So I'll always remember this. So whenever I decide to do something, I always think about what he said to me. I'm like, okay, if I'm ready to take this step, I'm all in.
Yeah. No regrets.
No regrets.
I love that.
0 fucks given.
A girl. That's perfect. I love it. No better place to end it than right there. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I can't wait to have you on again to recap your 20th deal year.
Oh my gosh, I forget what I was talking about. I'm like, gosh, that's going to be crazy.
It's going to be great. I can't wait to recap it. Thank you guys for checking out another episode of Daglight Podcast. See you next time.